Hi, I'm Veer Chopra alongside Benjamin Proborg and Carter Hillier, and we're standing here 5 minutes before kickoff for the Eagles-Patriots preseason game. Now, Benjamin, this might be Devontae Smith's first contact games. I mean, first NFL games in general. What do you expect from him?
Well, I think Devontae Smith has the speed and agility to play in the NFL, but I think his strength and size may be a factor on why he will either get hurt in this first preseason game or maybe he won't be able to get far past the line of scrimmage. But if he gets out in open field, it's possibly a touchdown or a lot of extra yardage.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think a lot of Eagles fans thought about that too. His less weight, which he also talked about on Twitter, saying that they're football players, not bodybuilders, which I think a lot of people can agree with. That a lot of people are saying that he might get injured, but I mean, he was fine in college, so I think he'll be okay in the NFL. Now, Carter, obviously Mac Jones played in his first game two weeks ago. What do you expect from him for the rest of the season and maybe for this game?
Listen, I think that Mac Jones could be a great quarterback, but the thing is, what I saw from his first preseason game, I saw a lot of stuff just right across the middle, just like 3 yards down the field. I feel like that if teams learn his strategy and what he looks for on the field, they're going to be able to, they're going to be able to predict that, and they're just going to put defenses to make sure that he tries to throw the ball down the field and see what he can do when he's throwing it far down.
I also saw that in his first preseason game. I think that he checked it down a little bit too much, maybe being a bit safe by Bill Belichick. But I think after a while, defenses could catch on, and he might have to become more than what he was in the preseason game, which was a game manager. Now, Benjamin, what do you think of since the Eagles have an aging defensive line in Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox after that amazing Super Bowl run close to 5 years ago now? How do you think they'll be aging and maybe playing this year and over the next two-ish years?
Well, I think this year they won't get much worse, but since they are aging, they might be slightly less athletic and maybe not as quick around the edge or through the middle. So maybe there will be fewer sacks or forced fumbles. But I think on a quarterback like Mac Jones in this specific game, he won't be able to get away from them because he is strictly a pocket passer. So he is relying on his offensive line, maybe this game and throughout the season, to keep him safe. But if this offensive line falls apart, I think Mac Jones is going to get sacked a lot, and Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham will take advantage of that in this game.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, I mean, in Alabama, obviously he had pretty much all five-star recruits playing offensive line for him, and he was really protected along with having Jalen Waddle and Devonta Smith. So I want to see if he has the escapability that you will have to need in the NFL now. Now, Carter, obviously the Patriots defense has been absolutely amazing for the past 2 years, but Stephon Gomer seems to have taken a step back from his Defensive Player of the Year performance 2 years ago. How do you think that'll maybe impact that and maybe J.C. Jackson coming in as the number one corner this year?
Well, what I like from J.C. Jackson is he can keep up with any wide receiver. I mean, besides, Devontae Smith burning him in practice, apparently. But I still think that Stephon Gilmore is going to be that number one cornerback. I still think that he plays at a Pro Bowl level. I think that he still could be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He's just like, he's got to stay off the injuries. He's got to try and keep himself healthy so that injuries don't happen, or else he might not be able to stay at that Pro Bowl level.
Yeah, Gilmore had COVID last year and then ended up having a knee injury for 5 more weeks, so he really was very banged up last year. So I guess even after a Defensive Player of the Year season, everything's going to look like a step back for a corner. But that's all the time we have today. For Carter Hillier and Benjamin Proberg, I'm Veer Chopra, signing off.